All right, it's been a long day, but I wanted to focus on two very important comments from Windows users with frustrations with Linux. So let's see if we can help somebody out. All right, so the first comment is dealing with printers. Look, I've tried to give Linux the benefit of the doubt with Linux FX. I haven't tried that one. But no matter what I do to make it work, knowing that after all these many years, Linux has not yet reached a level where it can compete with everyday operations with ease like Windows. So please, you either work to make Linux compete with Windows or just admit that Windows is the superior OS for the mainstream operation. It's a joke that we can't install a printer driver seamlessly. All right, first of all, thank you for the comment, and I'm guessing you don't maybe live here in the States or struggle with English. I saw the misspelling, but that's okay. I understand what you were trying to say. All right, look, normally with Linux, okay, with Ubuntu based, at least normally, when you buy a printer, you hook up the printer cable from your printer to your Linux machine. Make sure you are connected to the internet, and the machine, Linux, would normally, not always, normally download the appropriate printer driver for your printer, and then maybe reboot. And that's it. You're all done. It doesn't always work today. That is true. And it can be frustrating. You have several options. You can try some Linux terminal commands. Don't stop. Don't yell at me, okay? You can try Linux terminal commands. I get it. You don't want to use the terminal. My favorite terminal is the Orlando International Airport. Forget the terminal, okay? You can try the vendor's website. If you have a Brother printer, if you have an HP, try going to their website for some help there. If you don't want to do that not even that, you can try something called Turbo Print. That has always worked for me. This is not a sponsored video, but in the past when I tested Turbo Print, it has always worked for me. All right, well, speaking of the beloved terminal, this other comment deals with, this is a rather lengthy comment, but I will take the time and read it. And this mentions the terminal also. So, all right, so let's take a look at this. I've had multiple Linux computers running for over 10 years, but they're all servers. They work great and basically never need any special attention. They just work. The desktop Linux systems I have tried are horrible and in no way comparable to the Windows or Mac OS. That being said, I hate the direction MS is taking Windows and have never liked Mac OS. Linux just doesn't work very well in the desktop unless you are willing to be a beta tester and are fluent in writing multiple programming languages scripts. None of this is required in Windows or Mac OS. In fact, with Windows, almost everything can be done in the GUI, even advanced actions. In Linux, only the simplest things can be done in the GUI and everything else has to be done in the terminal. This is a huge time waster and adds unneeded complexity. On top of that, trying to find info on how to do what you want terminal can be frustrating at best, impossible at worst, given the plethora of distros available, all the differences between them, and the downright, oh man, and the where was I here? And the downright nasty attitudes of most Linux users when asked basic questions. Unless Linux gets consolidated to a few distros and resources behind them are combined to actually work out problems and make an actual good GUI, then desktop Linux will continue to be a second-rate OS and will only be useful to the 1% of people who have the arcane knowledge needed to take advantage of it. Thank you for the comment. I don't mean to laugh. I'm laughing because your frustration, been there, done that years ago. Okay, I know what you're trying to say. You are trying to say, I think, that Linux sucks. There are too many distributions. It's called fragmentation. I get it. I'm going to give you a straight answer. I think most Linux users will get it. Some will not and may take this the wrong way. But I'm going to give it to you straight after using Linux for almost 20 years, since 2006. Yes, there are hundreds and hundreds of different Linux-based systems that you can try for free. Are they all good? No. Do most of them suck? Probably. How many are good for Windows users that maybe replace your Windows 10? Out of the hundreds, close to 1,000, I think, maybe 5 are really good. We would put Linux Mint in there, Zorin OS, Ubuntu Mate, of course, Chromebooks, and maybe 1 or 2 more. That's not even 1%. That's not a lot. You are right when you said maybe 1%. I think it's less than that. So, does all of Linux suck? That's not fair. Come on. Does most of it suck for beginners? Maybe. Can I guarantee you that if you try Linux, you will never have to use the terminal? Yes. Yes. One time, if you buy a Chromebook. I have a Chromebook. It's right here. Unless I want to, I don't have to use the terminal. I play with it. I don't mind. I have patience as a Windows user. Now, if you try Linux Mint or Zorin OS, 99% of the time I would say you don't have to use the terminal. You have to pick and choose the correct Linux distributions for beginners like yourself, or for someone who's just getting into the world of Linux. There are too many choices. It can be confusing. But to say that all of Linux is no good, it's not fair. Look, we have Android phones. They work. Chromebooks outsold Macs. They work. So, yeah. Pick and choose the correct Linux-based systems. Be wary when people say that Linux is easy. Some Linux is easy, to make it fair. On that note, I would like to propose a toast to the very few Linux-based systems that can compete with your Windows of the world. I like to raise a glass. Oh, that's wrong glass. This is the best Linux wine, red wine. Cheers to all the few Linux-based systems that work very well, including what I'm using now, Linux Mint. Linux and wine, and no bugs. All right, that's all I have for this one. I'm tired. Jokes aside, I hope this helps someone. So that's it. I'm going to finish my glass of wine. I'm going to bed. Thank you for watching. Peace.